Right, hello, welcome back to Pattercast, episode 4, I think we're on now. I'm Jack, and once again, I am back with my friend, Chris.
Yep, yeah, all good. Episode 4 coming at them. Recently, a bit faster than what we were in the past. Now, hopefully, we get a couple more going. But,
we don't mention the first couple of episodes, man. They were fucking tragic in between. Awful. Anyways, getting into it. Today's a special episode. We've got 2 guests with us today. If you just want to introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Choccy. I'm Choccy from TPD. That's it. I didn't know what else to say. Like,
to be fair, it's an awkward one. Like, I get you.
Hi, Choccy. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Hi, Rob.
From that same place as Chuck.
From the same place. I love it. I love it. So just before we get into it, so this episode's really going to be about like festivals and like things on that line, which is why we are all in our festival attires. So yeah, before we get into that though, I just want to crack open a beverage and share with you all, what are we all drinking tonight then, boys?
Well.
Go on.
I'll go first. I'm actually drinking some alcohol tonight, funnily enough.
Mate,
I've got
that's a fucking new thing for Pattercast. Like you drinking more than water. Fucking hell,
literally. Mate. But it's not a very festively drink. I'm drinking some Record League cider. It's not my Strongbow Dark Fruits that the classic, but I'm going with this tonight.
Well, Strongbow, Dog Fruit's Twitter aren't going to be very happy with that, mate, but that's okay.
No.
Well, I guess, yeah, I'll go next then. So I'm drinking, I wanted to go for my go-to festival drink, a nice vodka, either lemonade vodka or a Red Bull vodka. However, I'm skint at the minute, and I only have fucking that much of this shit vodka. So I had to use the rest of my Amstels. But, it's still nice. And they are equally as warm as they would be at a fucking festival, so that's disgusting. But, getting in the spirit of it all, so cheers to that one.
I've never heard anyone call it lemonade vodka.
Well, I kind of lost what I was going to say. Like, I'd usually say the brand of, like, lemonade, but I just went lemonade vodka just because I'm running with this now.
It was more just the order, not that there was no brand.
I know what you're
it's the vodka lemonade.
Nah, mate, I'm being innovative, man. We're all about the innovation here.
Go on, Chuck.
Go on, get out of the way.
Sir, I insist. After you, sir, I insist. I'm drinking a Budweiser, and it's not very festivally because it's in a glass bottle, and you're not allowed them at festivals.
We can pretend it's plastic.
I can get them in.
Yeah, but it's like a go-to festival drink. Well, it's not normally in a glass bottle, but it's normally a go-to beer, isn't it?
You can get one of these in, no problem, if you put it in the right place.
Well, on the opposite end, I've skinned it out. I've gone for some lovely piss water, some Fosters, cans of Fosters, and then to top off the festival theme, normally when I go to a festival, I get like a big 3-litre of just like Morrison's Aldi cider, some disgusting mess. But I didn't have that because, as I said, I've only been to the local shops. So I got a lovely bottle of Frosty Jacks that I'll be consuming tonight. Takes me back to drinking that on a park bench at the age of 16 and tell my mates, have you got spessig? So...
Chuck, at the end of the episode, you're probably going to wake up in a fucking park or something, man.
I'll be fine, mate. I'll be fine.
Love it,
That'd be good, though, if I could. If I could just
it'd make an interesting episode.
Yeah, yeah.
It would, for sure.
See how much phone charge I got at the end of this, and maybe we'll go for a walk. We'll see.
You love it, man. So, yeah, that's what we're all drinking. We try to keep it festival related, but, it's drink at the end of the day, whatever gets you fucked. So, yeah, like I was saying, it's going to be a festival-themed episode. Just kind of like rough stories about like what we get up to at festivals, funny stories, dream festival lineups, whatnot as we go. Do you want to get started with one of yours then, Chris?
Yeah, pretty much. Compared to you guys, I'm probably a bit of a novice when it comes to festivals. I've only ever been to 2, and they're both Leeds Festival, but I haven't been in quite a while, in all honesty. But really, I think what I was going to ask you was, considering you've all probably been to a lot more festivals than I have, what's the sort of like best festival you've ever really been to? What's the best experience?
That's a hard one.
There's a lot of festivals, man. They're all different, for sure.
But yeah, I was going to say, for me, it's like music-wise and like closest to having the best time I've had, I think I'd say 2000 Trees, because it's less to do with just the music and like, oh, I've gone to a festival. It's more to do with that normally you're with your core mates, just spending what the definition of summer is. You know, if there's nice weather normally, sat chilling out having a drink, you go see music. You might not go see music, but you're just having a good time. And especially I went obviously in 2019 as my first time going, and I have to say that was like, that experience was like definitely the top thing. Other than that, I'd just say Leeds, just because it's the like ultimate festival thing you get really in the UK, next to Glastonbury.
It's a bit of everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Leeds, it's one of those where like you've got certain festivals where, you know, like you've got, I don't know, Creamfield, for an example. Cool looking festival, all this big shit, but you know, it's you're kind of standard DJing and like all those big things. And like if you're not into that, you know, it's probably not going to be great. Whereas Leeds, it has that side of it, but it also has fucking everything. Do you know what I mean? You go for the rock, you can go for a bit of rap, a bit of DJ. It's great.
Yeah, it's got a nice choice where like I think that's if you're ever gonna like say to someone, oh, if you want to go to a festival, you should probably tell them to like Leeds or Reading's the one I would recommend. But for me personally, the one that's the experience wise, it's been 2003. I'd have to say definitely.
Nice one. Nice.
Trees is a real contender. I'd love to have a more interesting answer, but it's Leeds Fest, isn't it? Like, you know, it really is, especially like for us having been so many times, and it's like our most popular festival that we do. It's just an experience that we don't get anywhere else. It's a weekend where we get to live in a fucking bubble that isn't reality for a weekend. And amongst that, like also some of my favorite bands have headlined. I look back to 2019,
100%.
and I know we'll get on to like lineups, but like that 2019 lineup of Foo Fighters, Posty and 75, like I know it's obviously subjective, but like I couldn't pick a better three headliners, because it's not just about like what I like, but it's also like what my best mates also like in equal measure. Add something for everyone.
That's a big thing as well. If everyone's vibing,
that's the thing. Like when we were talking about like the, you know, because it's an exercise we do all the time. Like, what's your dream lineup? And we always kind of ask each other that. But the best lineup for me isn't the best lineup for me. Do you know what I mean? It's the best lineup that my mate Cleeseby's also gonna like. He don't like 75.
I get you.
So I won't have them all.
I get that.
Best all rounder.
Leeds is the answer for me by fucking million miles.
It'll be an interesting one for you then, Proxy.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I'm totally.
One of those festivals, mate.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've only ever really been interested in going to Leeds because I think like when I first went to a festival, I was 18. I think so that was like 7 years ago, and like I was always like sort of like into like sort of indie rock, and back then that's kind of what Leeds was more leaning towards. It was like mainly like the main stuff, which as it's gone on, I think like it's diversified its sort of like lineup as it's gone. But you know, I think like the experience itself for like Leeds Festival, like you were saying, it's just an experience you can't get anywhere else. I just find it's just you go there and it just completely like blows any sort of expectations that you had of it previously. It's just a great weekend.
Yeah. I remember like I started going with my mate Cal in 2009. He'd been a few times before, but like, and we went every single year, and there was never a year where I didn't say that was better than the last one. That was better than the last one. Like, and I truly mean that. Like, I wasn't trying to like trick myself. Like every year at the end of it, I was like, that was the best one ever.
No, I get that, because like you're saying, it's not necessarily about the music. It is about like just being with your pals, having a good piss up with everyone. The lineup could be dog shite, and I'd still go and have a great time, and I can guarantee that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's real though. There's always going to be someone you want to see. Like it's not 100%. Always going to be that bad where there's no one you want to see. There's always going to be at least one or two artists that you're going to want to go and see. But let's be real. It's like what Choccy was saying earlier as well, like about 2003s, like how he was saying like it's mainly just about like obviously you go for the music as well, but just sitting around the campsite with all your pals just getting on it, like there's no better feeling in the world in my opinion. It's fucking class.
Really, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of those things where until you've experienced it, all you'll ever hear from someone who's been is, oh, we're sick, everyone was there, we're all doing this. But yeah, so-and-so was great, or so-and-so was shit, but it was like, it's just mainly about you turn into a salesman and start like selling our
You do. You really do.
Yeah.
You need to be on that.
I can remember 2018, it like pelted it down at Leeds.
Oh man, don't even bring that up.
I had to shit in a fucking bucket, man. I had to shit in a bucket.
Oh.
And like, I just remember being like, you know what? There's nowhere else on earth I'd rather be right now than
for sure.
in Danny White's tent having a shit in a bucket. That's it.
Oh,
I bet Danny was pleased
very
with that.
very classy.
He was. You know what, mate? It don't matter. I ended up with that.
I can hear him moaning now. Fucking.
It smelled fucking lovely when you were done with it, mate.
Listen, mate, my kryptonite is the bogs at like festivals. If they're not in a festival, if they're not in like a Portaloo thing, I can't. Like my arse just like seals up and shit goes straight back up. I can't. I can remember the first time at Leeds. I can remember I opened the thing. There was a bit of piss and bog roll everywhere. I said, "Oh, not an issue. I'm having a piss." I came back 2 hours later for a shit, and it was kicked in. Vomit, piss, shit, bog roll, food, you name it. And I'm just like, I can't. I was like, you couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me a good million to sit on that.
It's funny you mention that because like one of the things me and Proxy were gonna ask it later is like, what are your worst sort of like one of the worst side of festivals? But I'm pretty positive we can all guarantee that it's gonna agree on that it's the fucking toilets really. Because like on the back of you saying that, like I don't know, people might be different, but like I'm the exact same. Like they're fucking vile. And I remember, I think it was 2019. Obviously, that was when we had the heat wave and that, didn't we? So you've got to think of it like I can still smell those fucking toilets. You've got these toilets, the Portaloos, the I can't even remember if it was the trough ones or not, but like baked in like fucking that heat. It was like roasting your shit. It was cooking your shit. It was disgusting. So I remember really clearly, and I can never get this out of my mind, like going into one of the toilets and be like, right, finally, I really need the shit. I've been putting it off for so long, man. I was on the borderline constipating myself, man. And I go in, right, cush. I close the door and I turn around, and I'm just looking at this like monstrosity of shit coming out the toilet, like something off Jurassic Park. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Looking like the shit from Conker's Bad Fur Day, the King Fu.
Yes,
big
it actually is.
Big old khaki in the toilet. Eh?
Oh mate, it even started singing a song to me and everything, man. It was raj.
You know,
so, like, it's just bad, man.
I've never had issue with a shitter at a festival.
Really?
I mean, I've seen the Grimmons for sure, but I guess it's because like, I don't know about you guys. I know Choc shits somewhat frequently, but I can just go for like I can do like one in the weekend and I'm sound with that. I don't know about you guys.
Nah, it's mainly the same as me, to be fair.
Talk about, but because of that, I can generally scope one out that's like only 50% ruined and take some toilet roll of my own. I don't mind it, man. That's way kind of mid list of worst things on festivals for me.
Really?
Yeah, man. I'm all about.
We all fucking like strongly agree on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm all about the shit. That is not. That just came out.
So basically, what you're trying to say is, Rob Kellis goes to festivals just so we can enjoy the shitters.
Yeah,
that's it.
Why do you think he does a toilet review at every one? He wants to smell it. He wants the aroma. He's like,
hey, that's a good thing about 2003s has lovely shitters.
Yeah, they do. I can't remember because Rob asked me to film one, and I was just in a fucking state. I think I dropped my phone on the floor. I can just remember Rob just saying, "Yo, when you go for a shit, just quickly, just tell us how it is." And I just dropped my phone.
Delegating a duty off to a fellow soldier, and he's got his iPhone SE cracked camera, and he airdrops me this clip that sounds like it was from the 1800s. But never ask him again.
It's a bit of history. I've got an
It's
iPhone
funny.
11 now. I do, guys. I've got an iPhone
It's
11
funny
now.
because you're saying this out of context for the people that mightn't have watched like a TPD video before. This just sounds like you've both got weird toilet fetishes and you're just recording yourself shitting or something.
Listen,
I prefer people to think that. To be fair,
I need a good area to shit. Like if the toilet's dead or if it's uncomfortable, I can't go, man. I've got IBS. Like
No,
I
I'm the same.
Yeah, if I eat something like, if I eat wheat,
It's right down
and
here.
stuff like that, it's just game over. I'm like, right, get me a comfortable toilet. So I think that if I end up going to any festival this year, if they've got a luxury pass for a nice, decent bog, I'll be taking that. I can
Oh,
tell
absolutely. I think the first time I ever went to Leeds, I kind of like took for granted. I didn't really like think the toilets were going to be anywhere near as bad as what they were.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like strolled in one day and it was like, oh yeah, it was pretty bad. I remember I was like sat down and just sort of like feeling this like wet, like sort of area on my back, and it was clearly someone pissing through the other side of this like, and I was just like, after that, I was like literally like the only time I ever went to the loos was like probably like 5 a.m. when like everyone was still asleep, and I was just like tippy-toeing to the loos. I was like, nah, I've got to go this time. I can't go like midday, not a chance.
You've got to go when they've just been emptied, like.
Yeah.
You know what's hard to think about? Like, if everyone was just nice, the toilets would always be nice. But it's such every man for themselves forward mentality. Because like you go, you find a nice one, you push it, but you're just like, whatever, it's nice. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want it in. It's someone else's problem next time. If everyone was just like a bit more mindful and just a bit of extra care, then this would not even ever be a problem. So I think it says more about the actual fucking people, myself included, of course.
No, for sure. I agree with that. I totally agree.
It's so avoidable, isn't it? Like mass scale. Like, you wouldn't do that at home if you had lots of mates around and everyone was going for a shit. You would not. But maybe less we say after that.
Just shit on the walls and that.
It's funny to think how avoidable the whole toilet thing is.
It's always funny to think about that though, where like where you were saying that proxy about like how someone literally sort of like fucking pissing through the wall in your back. Like what you're saying there, Rob, like if people actually just like were just knew how to, somehow people don't know how to shit in a toilet. So like if people actually just did it, it'd be normal. But like when you go in, like you say, there's like shit on the walls and everything. You're like, how are you, man? Like, is your aim that bad? Or you just a cunt? Anyways, moving on from fucking
when people are just smashed up, they just look at it and they go, yeah, it's gonna go somewhere. It's gonna aim. I'm gonna aim somewhere, and I'm gonna hope it's the bog.
And I'm gonna hope it's a massive hole.
As long as it's out of the ass, it's not my responsibility.
Yeah, that's the saying, isn't it? Once it's out, it's
it's better than being in the field. It's better than being in the field. I'll definitely say that. I would definitely not want to roll up my tent and lie in someone's shit. However, saying that, I did this one time on the back of that.
I don't know where this is going.
Right, okay. I never shat on the floor. However, I stood in something on the way back to my tent one time, and I do remember this. I think it was 2019, and I thought I just stood in a bit of mud or something and whatnot. So I go back to my tent, and I remember just as I'm getting into my tent, I like put my foot down, and I get in this tiny one, man. It was a shit tent. I like my stuff, my food everywhere. It was like I said, it was so hot as well through the days and shit. This fucking steamy tent. I go in, and like as I turn around, I'm so lucky I checked. I must have stood. Someone must have shat on the floor or something, because I stood in shit, right? Like there's actual human shit, because there's no fucking animals there. I mean, the people are fucking animals, and then so I've like stood in this shit, right? And it's like smeared on like the entrance of my tent, and I'm just looking like, what the fuck do I do here? I've got human shit in my tent. Like, where do you go from there? I'm just done.
I've seen a guy,
to be fair, I did.
I've seen a guy sit in a plastic cup and sling it across at someone's gazebo, and I just think, like, if you were the people under that gazebo, fucking bless you, because, like, there's nothing worse than just trying to enjoy your time and sliding someone's shit, someone throwing shit at you, standing in it, just like, oh, someone shit's, like, the worst for me is if I'm trying to sleep and someone's pissing on my tent. Because it's you just hear it, and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. So you just do that where you tap and you go, fuck off. And then someone does fuck off. Oh, sorry, mate.
They usually do leave. Yeah,
and then someone else will come and start pissing, and you're just like, it never ends, mate.
Sorry, mate.
I mean, it's definitely happened to me where people have pissed on me tent, but I don't know where the fuck you're camping, Choccy, because I haven't had more than 3 people piss at once on me tent. Like,
it's us.
It's just take turns.
Yeah.
You
just do like different points. I can remember there was a spot between Jake's tent and Rise's tent one year, where everyone was just using the back of that. Just everyone was using that back area.
The latrine.
Unreal.
Yeah, in between.
You love it. Well, it's funny you say that about like things that do get on your nerves, and I think one of like the more crazy things that I remember from 2019 was to do with yourselves. I think it was 2019, where if you just want to tell the story about your whole fucking camp getting shut down.
Oh,
was that
yeah.
2019?
That was 2019, and before we get into this, I will just say this is a very good problem to have. Like, I'm not being a fucking.
It's not a negative problem. I agree.
It's, let's be honest, like it is classed, but it was also annoying. So basically, for anyone that doesn't know, we do a YouTube channel, and we basically go to festivals. We haven't done that for a while because of the lockdown.
Just a little thing in the way.
Just this little thing called the old pandemic, which has ruined our lives to a degree. But so yeah, we do that. We go and we film at festivals. So we've got like little bit of a cult following. It's a very small community, but it's very concentrated particularly to the Reading and Leeds festivals. So we had a meet-up with our viewers on the Wednesday, which is like the first day of Leeds Fest if you get the early bird. And to cut a long story short, yeah, it's a great night that because there's nothing else on. So that was kind of why we decided let's do the Wednesday and give us a bit of an event. But we just got like way too many fucking people there. Not too many for me. Like, you know, I love to meet people. I'm absolutely blessed. We all are to get to have the same conversation 1,000 times.
Getting given loads of San Pelly cans all fucking night.
I leave the festival with more shit than I came with.
Yeah, hand them out to us, man. I'll take it.
It'll be like a fucking food for the homeless at the end of it and go and donate it all. But yeah, as I said, like we really fucking appreciate it so much, and it's mad, and I'd welcome double and triple that amount of people, and hopefully we'll, you know, continue our growth. But security just didn't like it, and I get it. Like security have got a job to do, and they've been told to do a job, and so they're doing it. But there was just too many people in one area. We put up like walls when we got into the camp. We got into the orange camp where we always camp, and we were let in like before pretty much anyone else, like before the campsite actually opened, which was really fucking cool. I felt like
Rockstar.
Did you feel like you were getting ready to headline the main stage?
I sure did, mate. So we bought we put what felt like a substantial investment into like some camping walls, like, you know, the shit that you like hammer into the ground.
Shit you take to beaches and that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And it was pretty expensive, a good few £100 on that. But like, hammered all them in to build like this perimeter. And I guess the issue, the mistake that we made is we set up this perimeter, but when you create like an enclosed space, people are going to fill it and then it's going to overflow. And that's what we did. What we should have done is just not add the wall, but we also wanted to kind of like make it a bit more protected. I don't really know. It was an idea. It didn't play out.
Your privacy is a big thing as well. At the end of the day, like obviously you're gonna love meeting fans and like all that, and like obviously that's what you do, and it's a big part of it. But at the end of the day, people do have to respect that you are also there to enjoy a festival with your pals. So I feel like having like a big space like that, you would expect it to be like, oh well, I can just close it off or like blah blah. But yeah,
that was the
you
thought.
don't think that far ahead, do you?
That was the thought, and how naive we were. But yeah, it got a bit mad. Loads of security came, and some of the security were, you know, your typical kind of bouncer, kind of aggressive. I was arguing with them, if memory serves, because I was a bit like
scrapping them all, everyone, man. He's battering them all.
Probably on some drunk ego trip, thinking I'm the most. Oh look, I'm fucking here. I'm all people want to come and see. You can fuck off. But quickly back down to reality when I was told, you're all gonna get kicked out unless this crowd moves.
Please don't. No, please. I'm not. I promise.
Honestly, it's in me on. But so I got on like someone's shoulders and I was trying to like instruct this crowd. And I'm not the best fucking public speaker by a million miles. And if anyone isn't listening to me, it's some fucking 17, 18-year-old lads. Just hammered out of their mind. I'd say like, we all need to move. And then they'd all go, boo. And just we ended up moving it. It all worked out well. We thanked security. Security were grateful that we managed to come to a resolution. But it was a mad situation, man. It was so fucking mad. And because of that, we've already started thinking about, 2021, if that goes ahead, what can we do to still have that amazing interaction with people, but also not really compromise.
Yeah.
Well, as the channel's growing as well, like the channel's always going to be growing, so you got to think like every year, like I can imagine, you're going to get more and more people wanting to be like, oh, well, come say hello. So it's just going to get crazier and crazier, man.
Well, yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? It is a weird one because I don't really know what the solution is, and neither did Festival Republic because I've spoken to them about it, and spoken to them about it as recently as like in the last couple of weeks, and neither of us can kind of figure out what the answer is. Because we all still want to camp in Orange in the regular area. Yeah. We don't want to kind of lose the magic by camping somewhere else. But I don't know. But yeah, it was mad.
You'll have to face it when it comes up.
It was a cool experience to have. Don't get me wrong, and I appreciate anyone that came.
Got to put me back
I just sound pretty wild, more honestly. Like, I can only imagine. Like just like walking, like I just imagine like someone who like just is like completely like oblivious to the situation, is like walking along and they're just like looking across to the side and it's just this like massive group of people just like
yeah. Like,
that's what it was like. It kind of was like I went into my tent for I think like 5 minutes to get a couple of cans, and I came out and I went to speak to Polton and we were just off to the side and we turned around and people were just coming like more like from outside, just coming in and then all of a sudden you see like everywhere someone could fit, someone was there.
And I charged him for a wristband or something next time.
I remember at some point, I don't know who it was, someone was just like, take the flag and put it in, I think it was like Bridie's tent or Riley's tent. And I had it, and the security guard would just like give it over, and I said, oh no, it's our flag. He's like, well, you need to put it away now. And I put it away and turned around, and there's like 15 people, all with their backs to me, all looking over, and you can just see Rob in the distance, just like shouting, we all need to move. And then all of them are going, yeah!
Yeah! just not in the situation at all.
No one could take this serious. I was like, but yeah, it managed to get sorted in the end, but it was just fucking mental. Like that was my first like experience, because like I weren't expecting anything like that. I was expecting people come normally and say hi and stuff like that throughout the day, but like that amount of people in that such a like compressed area, it was just mental. Because like I was trying to speak to like different people, and I turn around for 2 seconds, and there's like 50 fucking people in between the space now. And you're like, how do you go from A to B? Like in the
there's just no in between.
Yeah, and so many tents. Like I could just remember seeing all our tents being like stood on everything, and I was like, well, it's bound to happen. You can't blame anyone for it, but it was just like it was.
But it's still a frustrating thing.
Yeah, it was mental, really.
That's a madness, man. And I just always like, I'm imagining all these stories that like, you guys are saying, and like the stories that I've got as well. And I just always want to back to like Proxy's time at Leeds, and I just feel like it's completely different, isn't it, Chris?
You've had a lovely time.
I mean,
a lovely old time.
I mean, like, funny, the first time I went was really strange because I went with people that I didn't really know that well. I don't really know how I ended up going, looking back at it now, but...
Well, you probably bought a ticket, mate.
But no, I remember where we ended up camping. We ended up camping with these like guys from Manchester who I'd say they were probably in their 40s, and like I think you can probably imagine the sort of type that I'm talking about when I say this. It was probably a group of like 4 or 5 guys, and there's like quite a few girls with us at the time as well, and like they were just the sort of, they'd just be coming up to you every 5 minutes going, mate, do you want any cocaine, mate? Like, I'm just like, I'm just sitting there like in my tent, who are you? Why are you like just like they were there for the entire weekend?
Us coke.
Yeah, like just like constant. It was just like, oh god, but like
he took it all. It was weird, but he took all the coke.
But no, I remember the first time I went, and there was just these like I said, it was like 4 or 5 guys just like literally just like when we were like sitting around like in our little like camp area. And they would just like come over and just start having a drink with us, and they would start talking about like their wives and like how they love getting away for this weekend. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I don't know yous.
Nah,
But yeah, no.
you do get that like it's either, I feel like with festival people, it's either like two sides. You've got like side A, the majority of people that I've noticed anyways are dead nice, and you get like your average festival goer, they're dead welcoming, you'll chat to anyone, and you know, I'm quite a chatty person as well, so like I'll go around, I'll chat to people, have a drink with randoms, and that's just because it's fun, and they're always dead nice. Then you've got the other side, and you've got the dickheads that go just to be cunts, really, and there is like a bit of a balance between them. You know, you've got the dickheads who were like setting fires and shit, who are like purposely like robbing people and shit, and you get that, and there's no real in between, because I feel like the majority are really nice festival goers that appreciate music and appreciate, you know, having a good festival. Like, and I remember the first time I ever went to a festival, I think, well, yeah, actually it was Leeds 2018 was my first, not even that long ago. And I remember getting there, we thought we'd like cheated the system and that, and we thought, fuck buying early birds, we're scamming it, man. So we went at like 1 o'clock in the morning, like dickheads, and like got there, like it's pitch black and that, we're walking, trying to set my tent at like 3 in the morning, it's so dumb. And I just remember this bloke stumbling up Orange Hill, he's mortal, no one else is there, and he stand there and he just goes, "You just got here?" And we're like, aye, and he's like, "Right, have a fucking belt of time, man." Obviously not in a Geordie accent, but like you get the situation.
Jack, I like to imagine that.
Have a fantastic fun.
You know what? He was a strong Geordie, and we're like, "Yes, man." And he's like stumbling out, and he's like, "Have a great one, lads," and just kind of like rolls down the hill and just disappears. We'll never see him again. But like that's the shit I love. But it's just a shame that there are a lot of those dickheads that go around, you know, like robbing.
I would also,
like
I'd
trash
also
and
say
shit.
it
And that.
depends purely on like. A lot of the time, it depends what festival you're at, like what crowd
That's
it brings. And I'm sure Rob and the rest of the boys have mentioned it before, but like Download does seem to have like probably like the nicest like scene to it, because everyone there is pretty much friendly.
Yeah.
You get some, you know, randoms and weirdos that sometimes you go, what's going on here? You see a lot of Minion shirts and stuff like that knocking around. A lot of Harley Quinn
the boomer dads and that.
But it is like if you go and everyone's having a nice time, everyone's sound, you have a better time. But you'll never, there'll be never a year where you'll go to a festival and you won't see some like dickhead who's just deliberately pissing everyone off and thinks that the whole festival's put on for them. You see it all the time, man. You see it like even on day festivals, just a group of lads who will be like, "Hey, it's this day is our day," and it's just like, "Who are you? I've come
Like,
to
who
see
the fuck are you?
Two Door Cinema Club for the 5th time, and I'm going to leave half an hour early as usual." But
We're off to the lead mill.
there we go, off to the lead mill.
Hey. Nah, I do get that, and it is a shame. But at the end of the day, it never, for me, it never ruins it unless, you know, I get fucking robbed or something. But luckily, I haven't. So I've never had like that bad of an experience. But like it is that, and I feel like I kind of get why the likes of Download are like more nicer people, because it's kind of like seen as the goth festival. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, I don't like agree with that, but like that's what people would say. It's like, "Oh, it's full of goth bands." So you wouldn't get your fucking dickhead fuckboys who are strutting around being like, "Oh yes, I don't listen to this, it's goth music." You don't get them. But like Leeds, since it's so
I feel
open to anyone, I do kind of get it.
I feel more comfortable at Download than at any other festival, and that's because at Download I'm the biggest dickhead you're gonna run into. So I don't have to worry. I am the biggest prick you'll see there.
That's the weirdest flex I've ever heard in my life.
What? But like everyone is just so sound. Like you've got families there, you've got like people of all ages, but it's just a very accepting culture. And you know, we've been robbed at Leeds before, many years ago, and it wasn't my shit, so you know, whatever. But Danny White got some shit robbed, and he got his tent slashed. So obviously that puts like a big dampener on everyone's weekend. That happened on the last day of the weekend. This was when Disclosure played last, so good news, they're back again this year, so you can expect maybe the same guys coming back. But yeah, like at Download, I'm just never on edge. No. I'm just never on edge at Download. Whereas at Leeds, I do sometimes think, you know, I leave my shit in a secure place. My shit's not in my tent.
Keep it on you, man. You've got to keep that shit on you, man. I'm like wearing these bum bags and I'm like cuddling them like it's my fucking life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't think I've ever been to a festival I've left like anything really valuable, like my phone and car keys and stuff. I don't think I've ever left any of that in my tent and stuff like that. I think I could live if I've got some booze and stuff taken, or like my tent.
Yeah, it's not great, but
yeah, it's like it's not the
music.
end of the world, but like it is one of those where when I went to download, me and my missus won tickets. We went and we showed up, I think, on the Friday. Showed up on the Friday, put up the tent, and went to meet the boys and stuff like that. And I constantly, I thought in the back of my head, I was like, oh, is someone gonna like stomp on a tent? Someone gonna like flash it and stuff like that? Came back, nothing's been taken. And then the people who were camping near us was, oh, don't worry, no one's been near your tent and stuff.
I love that.
And I just felt
would
like
love that.
they didn't have a fucking Scooby who I were, but they were just so nice and respectful, and were just like, oh, I can see that he's like, looking at my tent to make sure there weren't anything done with it. And they were like, oh, don't worry about it. And they were like, if you're not here and we are, we'll just keep an eye on it. And I just think that's such a, like, there's some of the best humans in the world that go to like download. 100%. They're just nice. They're genuinely nice people. That, like I said, that sadly, like Rob said, if you're at Leeds, sometimes you hear on that Sunday or Monday, just people's tents getting blown up with fucking deodorant bottles and stuff. And I just think, like, what is going on? Like, what the fuck are you playing?
Last time I was there, I like, we literally saw, and like, I'm just like looking around, I'm like, fucking hell, man, respect the environment a bit more, man. Like, I don't want to preach it all that much, but you get what I mean. But like, you've got these dickheads, like, they were setting fires to people's tents, and they were trying to set the fucking trees on fire. The fuck?
Burn them fucking down.
That's
so
it.
dumb.
Dickheads think it's Minecraft.
They're playing Sims now. They're like, oh yeah, this person wouldn't mind sleeping in a tent that's on fire. Let's just.
And the person inside, he's just like, oh no, I can't get out, shit. But yeah, it's a mixed bag, and like, I would like to eventually get it download, to be honest, and I was planning on trying to get there, because System of a Down's one of my, like, I know it's a very mixed bag with System. Like, some people say they're not great live, whatnot, but they've been one of my favorite bands since I was like fucking 10. So like, I've always wanted to see them. So when they were supposed to be there, it was 2019 or 2020, whenever it was. I was really thinking of going, because especially Biffy were there as well. 2020, there was 2020. And again, Biffy, one of my favorite bands of all time, really wanted to see them, even though I'm seeing them like fucking 3 times this year. I was like, 4 times will be great. So I was planning on going to my first download, and I couldn't really afford doing the full weekend, because, you know, I'm doing Leeds, I've got like holidays planned, I've got a lot planned, got a lot of gigs and shit. So I was like, I might just go for a couple of days and, you know, be sound. So I was like, I'll do that. But they've changed the lineup again, and it's just very like, it's got rid of like System on it. I don't know now. I'm just a bit like,
I was so buzzing that Biffy were kept, because
Biffy, for sure.
Biffy, like, people are very vocal about not wanting Biffy there, not like they're my favorite band. So I was glad.
It's all the dads that don't want Biffy there, though, innit?
Yeah, man, and swap out Iron Maiden for System any fucking day. Like, people say this shit live. They're as good as you allow them to be in your head. Like, if you go there and you stood there stone cold sober and you're like listening to every note, like, they're not the best fucking performers.
Like, you're hearing Serge doing this massive rant on like whatever the fuck he's been sniffing back, then I get that.
But if you just let yourself just enjoy the whole, like, they're exceptional. I had a great time watching them a couple of times I've seen them live, and if I watch them on like YouTube live, which I watched like one of their gigs recently, and their atmosphere wasn't there, and I could pick out like, this isn't actually really that tight, and it's not, it's a million times better than anything I could ever fucking do, but it's, it's easy to pick out the flaws if you but if you're enjoying yourself, you'll have a great time. It sounds obvious. You get what I mean? Like, they're very good.
No, it's very obvious what you're saying, but it makes sense. Because like, you can go,
excellent, man.
And like, they're one of my favorites. Like, I've always loved System. So like, when they released the 2 new songs last year, my dick was hard. Like, I was so excited, man. So I wasn't disappointed.
What were those songs? One of them was.
It was Mate, I thought they were both really good. It was like the fucking human. Oh, what was it called again? The Generation Humanoids, whatever it was fucking called. And then it was mate, I'm a fake fan.
I know. I told you. I'm sorry. I didn't. Protect them out of the genocidal humanoids.
I was there with that one.
Close enough.
You weren't far off.
I wasn't far off. I kind of got it in my head, but yeah, no, I was really excited, and I wasn't disappointed either. They were great, so like it made me really more excited to see them. To see them getting swapped out, I was a bit like, come on. And for Iron Maiden, I do enjoy Iron Maiden, but like they're always fucking there.
They owe me so many hours of my time to Iron Maiden.
It's like, come on, man. They're past their days.
The thing is with Maiden, like, I have a reputation that I've built for myself for hating Iron Maiden, and the truth is, I don't hate Iron Maiden at all. I think they're pretty good, to be honest, mate.
Oh, I'm gonna hold you to that.
But if they are. If I could put Iron Maiden on shuffle, and I'd vibe for an hour at least. But
yeah,
don't do a headline festival slot and not play Run to the Hills, boys. Come on, man. I want to hear all the fucking hits.
Yeah, they don't do that, do they? They're one of those bands that are like, you know what, fuck our old stuff that people want to hear on new stuff that no one's heard of.
Here's 2 14-minute songs off the last 2 albums. And we might cram in Number of the Beast. Fuck off.
Honestly, that's the worst. Like, I mean, like, it's one of those, like, I genuinely hate it when bands do that. I know, like, some people are, like, into, like, you know, seeing, like, their new content, and obviously understand bands want to play their new stuff. But if you're a band, like, which have these, like, huge hits, like, that's what people want to hear.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and if
like,
you're
mix it up, man. Mix it up. I don't mind if you're playing a bit of your new stuff, but like it's a crowd pleaser and it's a festival.
I think, I mean, biased a bit, but I think Biffy do it great, because Biffy...
They do.
Like, a lot of bands, they kind of don't like the really stuff, like the Arctic Monkeys very publicly say, like, they don't fucking like anything off that first album, really. They don't relate to it, they don't listen to anything like that, which is why, you know, they do play songs off it still, but they don't enjoy it.
You can tell they don't give a fuck about them. Messy.
Whereas Biffy are a band who very vocally stand by like their entire body of work, and they still like those first songs off that first album as much as
still waiting for Jazzy Snake to get played.
They look at so they do a perfect set list for me as a massive fan, of course, but they'll throw you like your biblical and your massive hits that I don't really want to hear. Yeah. A million fucking times. But they'll also
Biblical's a great song here in live though. It's a good anthem. It's
a great song, yeah, it's a brilliant song. But you know, I'd take that off the set list for 10 years. I've heard it
really
times, yeah. But they please everyone, because I'll be like
for sure.
biblical again, but then I'll get like some random shit off the second album and I'll be buzzing.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Festivals should be a varied set.
Yeah, agree. Yeah. I think that's the best way to go about it. That whoever you are at whatever festival, obviously if you're an artist performing, just make it varied, that you're gonna bring in new people, the hardcore fans, the newer fans, people have just walked by and go, oh, let's just see what this is about. Make it make sure that you show your full range of like people. You know, we've got these bangers, we've got these new things we want you to listen to and stuff like that. I hate, like, I've seen a couple of like acts that will just do either all new stuff or just like really obscure choices. Like they'll change, like say there's an artist doing something and the crowds, everyone's feeling it, everyone's having a good time, and then they'll break it down for a 15-minute talk, and then they'll play a really slow and depressing song and another slow and depressing song, then maybe do a medium tier one, and it gets to the point where I'm just like, well, you had me up here when everyone's having a good time, but now you've gone on for about 45 minutes of just talking and like playing.
Now I feel sad.
Yeah, now I'm kind of like, right, I've asked like, what we're doing after this, or what time so and so on, and it just gets to a bit like.
I'll be honest with you, Choccy. I feel like that was a dig at a certain band there.
What band? I don't know what band you're on.
To be honest, I was waiting for you to be like, oh, what is about this band?
Like, if anything, I'm just saying as a whole, I've seen like, I mean, like, a classic example I have to say is like, no offense to the guy, he is talented, sound guy, but Lewis Capaldi, Jesus Christ, we went.
So boring.
You know, he was talking to everyone having a good time, and then he started singing, And then he started like talking again, and then he sang some more, and I was just like, I can't
Probably
be
talking about
arsed,
Noel
man.
Gallagher.
And I think we just fucked off and like sat down and had a pint or something like that. And it's just one of those things where, like, you've got to keep. If I'm not a Lewis Capaldi fan, keep me there as a new fan or someone who wants to be entertained. Don't play all the stuff that I just don't want to hear. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, like you've got to think, like, for people who are going to these festivals, yes, a lot of fans are going because of said names. So there will be a lot of Lewis Capaldi fans that are going there just for Lewis Capaldi, but there are a lot more fans that are going for the overall experience.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like for what you and Rob were both saying, it's like you've got to cater to both audiences.
Exactly.
You want the classics, so proper fans can be like, oh, I know that one. But then you've also got to hear, like, you know, the commercial songs and shit, because then everyone's gonna have
you've got to bring in the right amount of people, because some people, like, when we all saw Travis Scott at Leeds, I didn't appreciate him nowhere near to the amount I do now. And like,
the same.
If it weren't for those like commercial songs that I knew at the time, which I think was just Goosebumps and Sicko Mode, then I literally would have been like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, I weren't too into it. But like now, as someone who's listened to the full like library of his songs and stuff like that, keeps up to date with what he's doing. Now I'd be buzzing to hear whatever he plays and stuff like that. But he still has to play those commercial songs. Yeah. That
you're still gonna get hyped
when you're on GTA. When you hear Goosebump on the radio on GTA for the like fifth time in the same hour. So then you know what I mean? You've got to keep this.
Yeah, I get you. New
people coming who are just like, I know that song, so yeah, let's go see it. Because there's nothing worse than being a talented artist or band, having an amazing discography, and then no one knowing who the fuck you are. Like, if no one knows who the fuck you are except the hardcore fans, you're getting robbed, because people should come and see how great you are.
Yeah.
And like,
I agree.
I think a good thing is when you tell your friends, like, oh, no, come see this person, they're great. And then you show them and they go, yeah, you know what? I've got time.
Yeah.
I've got time for this person or that band.
I mean, like, when we're talking about, like, sort of the bands that, you know, you maybe, like, haven't enjoyed, like, one of the questions I was going to ask you was, like, out of, again, all the festivals you've been to, like, what's that, like, one standout set you've seen from a band? Because, like, I know you were talking about Biffy before. Like, I think Biffy are probably... Like, my favourite bands are Red Hot Chili Peppers, and the year I went was the Disclosure, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Biffy Clyro. So I was buzzing for the Chili's to play. But honestly, like, I think that Biffy Clyro that year, like, I just thought were unreal. I love Biffy as well, but I just thought, like, the live performance that Biffy do was just, like, so good.
So is are we talking about bands that surprised us positively then?
Really just, like, what, like, you just enjoyed the most, and not even, like, surprised, just, like, what, you know, even, like, you know, blew your expectations sort of thing, and, like, just, That Biffy gig was 2016, I think. Yeah, I think so.
That was fucking mad. I totally agree with you there, man. That's one of my favourite gigs of all time. That was fucking mad.
Wish I was fucking there.
Yeah, that was really good.
Lose. It was amazing. I loved Muse. I don't remember when Muse were there. 2017 maybe. I'll tell you what. Muse are fucking ace. I won't have a bad word said about them, Choccy.
Listen, Jack, you gotta be careful, because Rob's in his Muse phase at the moment, where whenever I say, oh, what have you been listening to, I already know he's already typed out Muse before I get out what happened. It's he's in love. He's in love. I know he's been listening to him for years, but like, he's currently his sweetheart that he'll have no bad words.
That's his go-to right now.
That's my...
But I keep hearing the same Muse, and I just keep hearing in my head, Budget Radiohead. That's what I keep hearing.
Oh. Yeah, high budget.
You know I like Muse as well. Yeah, Radiohead are my favorites, but like, you know, Muse are great. I'm taking the piss.
As I listen, like, I've loved Muse for years, but I've never done during the lockdown. I've done quite deep dives on both Radiohead and Muse, two bands I've loved for years, but I've never been able to tell you this song's off this album, this one's off this album. So like in lockdown 1, I listened to fucking no but Radiohead, and then in this lockdown it's been Muse. And the comparisons of kind of, I could definitely see in some of the early days. There's a song on Muse's fucking second album third album, and it sounds just like No Surprises by Radiohead. It's fucking mad.
It was almost like a way to find their own feet properly, wasn't it?
I think that, but seeing Muse in 17, I think it was, and they did Supermassive Black Hole, and all of us were dancing. There was like all of us there. There was like maybe 15 of us in our group, and everyone was just having a great fucking time. Everyone was having a right skank, and it was fucking.
Skank into Muse,
it was just unashamedly, because we always go like mid-crowd, we're never near the front, we're always like in line with the screens, like the mid-row, like where the screens are in the middle, kind of near there, and it was just fucking bliss, pardon the pun if anyone Muse fans out there. Track 2, album 2, Bliss. But it was fucking excellent, man. So Muse for me, but if you ask me like in a month, I'll probably have a different answer.
No, it's a good shout. The Muse are like the one band which I haven't seen, which I really want to see.
The one band you haven't seen. You've seen every fucking other band, like.
No, like out of the ones which I really want to see, you know what I mean? Like the ones, the ones which I'm really a fan of. Muse, sure. Like their live sets just look unreal.
They're so good, man, and it's just 3. It's like 3 pieces are sick, man. I know
it does show off a lot more talent, doesn't it? Because you just think really, like, fuck me, 3 people have sat down and done this. It's like, holy shit. So on the back of that, what about? I know you asked the question, but what about you then, Proxy? What do you say?
I would say like Biffy when in 2016. I just thought Biffy like was just so good. I mean, I said like I am a ridiculously big fan of the Chili Peppers. I love them, and I thought that Biffy were better than the Chili Peppers that year. Just because I just thought like the live set was just awesome. It's just great. So yeah, probably Biffy that year. It was just like I said, it was just such a good atmosphere. I think like the Biffy like crowd, because it was like one of those things where I think that in a lot of crowds, like some people are just like absolute idiots. Whereas like I don't know, the Biffy crowd, lovely. Yeah, they just felt like it was like really sort of a respectful, but like it really got that like sort of like hype feeling of like watching a bit more of a heavy band, if you would like say that. But yeah, it was just great. I loved it
for sure.
Yeah,
and Cop Syrup.
Cop Syrup's so fucking overrated, man.
Fucking love that song. Wait, did you say it's overrated?
Yeah, I'm sick of it. Hearing about the fucking thing.
Fuck off.
It's gonna be a fight tonight, I see.
And the thing is, the annoying thing is, they're gonna play that live, and they're gonna
wait
8 minutes of my fucking time with that repeating riff.
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll do the musical segment of it. I think they'll just do the Innocent 79 and then cut to the end.
Are you going to the Fingers Crossed tour?
I am.
Which ones?
A couple actually. I'm in Chef.
Right, cool. Well, okay, that's all I need to know. Right.
There we go. Happy days.
Buy me a drink at Sheffield when you play the full thing.
What is that? Was that what it is? Just buy you a drink and there we go.
Yeah, because I'm so right about it. They're gonna play it, mate. They're gonna waste my fucking time.
That is true.
I'll take your card when they're playing it.
Let's do a virtual hat. There we go.
They're both left-handed, eh?
I know it was, wasn't it?
Oh,
I was supposed to have had a Biffy tattoo by now, but COVID fucking shagged me on that one, man.
I know. How long was that been planned for?
Well, I've got it here. That's supposed to be on my fucking chest there. You know, it's pretty cool. Opposite. Should I just walk around with it, just like there?
Well, the difference is, if you ever like regret it, you can just take it off.
That's true.
But so obviously timeless music.
I mean, obviously, let's be real. Unless Simon Neil comes out as a nonce, which I hope he fucking doesn't. Mate, that would actually devastate me.
Do you know how much I've spent on those vinyls? Fuck's sake.
Oh, for sure. Anyways, before we lose topic, what about you then, Choccy?
Are we just saying Leeds Fest or is it any festival?
Anything, I think, really, just like anything at all.
If we're doing anything, I'd have to say I think the most blown away I've been was All Points East, Bring Me the Horizon. That, for me, was fucking incredible. That was like, I've seen Bring Me a couple of times, so, like, when you see him in, like, you see him in, like, in a gig or you see him at a festival, it's always great, but, like, that, for me, was just, like, I didn't care about everything else that had gone on that day at All Points. Every other artist, whether they were amazing, shit, it was just like, for me, I saw it and I went, like, this is just Bring Me. This is it. That's it.
You were brainwashed by Ollie Sykes.
Yeah, that's it, man. Like I said, I've listened to Bring Me for a lot of years, and for me, just the level that night went to was just out of this fucking world. I've seen Percy twice, and Percy's probably one of the biggest fucking rock stars, pop stars, whatever you want to fucking call him. I don't want any.
He's a bit of fucking everything, to be fair.
He's not a full rock star. He makes fucking chart music. Listen,
he's
what I'm
cool
trying
though.
to say is, like, I've seen him twice, and he's always brought it to the highest fucking degree. But like that night with Bring Me, like I can remember just everyone in the crowd was as fucking turned up as they can. And for me, that's always taken the biscuit. Whenever I think, like when Bring Me announced this tour, I was like, right, I'm going. I said, I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna find the money. I'm gonna go because I know I'm gonna have a good time. Yeah. And like, what's mental is like, you'll see like I think the last 3 albums by Bring Me, like, have just been phenomenal. And I can't wait for every time they bring out a new track, I'll listen to it. Whether people think it's good or bad, I'll listen to it. And like, I genuinely meant during 2003s when I said I just love Ammo, I did just love Ammo, mate. It was just great.
So was Ammo like the only album that was like up there for you when you saw them?
No. It was like,
or was that just what you were like at the time?
This was before Ammo. That's a mad thing. I think like this was a mass. Oh no, it wasn't before Ammo. Ignore me.
Well, Ammo, you can't love Ammo if it's before Ammo.
Was it before Ammo, the gig that you're on about, Chuck?
No, it weren't. It were after.
Ammo was out. Oh,
Ammo were out. But like it, to me, like I said, every I think it's just been banger after banger they've put out, and every time they play any of the songs live, even the fucking shit interval of fucking I want to steal something that Rob fucking buzzes for, and I'm like,
no, it's class.
Yeah,
like, for me, that doesn't do it.
That's a brilliant EP.
Like,
incredible.
Everything else just fucking slaps. And like I said, night when they played anything, it slapped, and that's what I'll always take away from it. The bar was set to a level that I've yet to see.
Yeah,
like a lot of people like set it to.
It was a really important night. I feel like for like the whole like Mosher culture, because everyone's been begging for Bring Me to headline a festival since like fucking Sempiternal came out of a crack. Bring Me should headline that, and that's so far their first and only opportunity they've got to actually headline a sizable UK innit, outside of their own top. They've headlined like Redden and Leeds, haven't they? They fucking certainly have not, mate.
Have they not? I thought they did.
No, they've never had that opportunity for some reason. They've they've never had that opportunity. They could definitely do it, but they haven't. They subbed Metallica in 16, second slot, but because it was Bring Me's like first one of them, like Bring Me really brought it all. Like it was all videoed. It was all like Ollie was on form. They had special guests come out. That was a fucking class night, Chuck. I forgot about that. That was absolutely.
I think even what a big thing I also took away from the night is we ended up all scattered about. Like half of us were scattered different places. And normally when if you're at a festival, you're at a gig, it's always gonna be more enjoyable when you're with your best fucking mates singing along and just having a good time, pumping each other up. That night, we were all like stumbled about and all scattered across, but it was like I knew that everyone who I weren't with at the time was having the fucking best time for that night. And like it was just a game changer, man. Like I said, I have to say I've expected a lot of people to bring it to that level, and they've been close to. But that night is just fucking like.
Would never topped it.
I would happily, if they did it again, if they did it all points east again, catch me fucking there straight away. That was such a good night.
I just really want to see another Deathcore Melody, man.
the day
that. It's funny. I'm so salty about that because like I had tickets to see them in Leeds when they were doing that tour, and I think it was 2018 was the tour. I want to say. So I had tickets for it. yeah, and I was supposed to be going, and work fucked me over big time. And it was my own fault for not booking it off, so I'm not slagging off my work. But like I got fucked over big time, and I couldn't go, so we had to sell our tickets. And then they did the Deathcore Melody for like the first time, and I was just like,
feels bad, man.
Let me tell you, Jack. Let me tell you, I've been in a similar scenario as you, and unlike you, I did the opposite, and I just sent work a Facebook Messenger. I sent work a
Facebook Messenger email. Chop was going to say that. What is that?
Facebook message email. That's new. New feature.
Chocky's fucking making things to cancel on work.
Jump on the call.
But I can remember sending just thank you for my time, and bowing out and shit. And just being like, right, we're deducting like 2 weeks' wage, and I'm like, oh, whatever, and rocking up. I think it was Download, weren't it? That happened. Yeah, and I showed up, and I can remember showing everyone, and they were like, no way, you sent a Facebook message to leave work. You're not handed in your notes or anything. You just said, and it was just because I had a week, 2 weeks in advance, and I said, listen, I'm just going for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not even working that Sunday, so I just need to swap my. Can I book the Friday, Saturday? No, you can't book it off. All right, can I swap shift with someone? Found 2 people to swap that Friday and Saturday, so I do a Monday, Tuesday instead. Yeah, and they literally, my manager was like, no, I need them on that day. You're not having it off, and I was like, well, game over then. Sorry, I was like, you think I'm gonna miss a fucking festival that could potentially be a fucking amazing festival that I've not experienced yet? I was like, just get fucked.
Well,
gonna go.
I feel like now, like I'd probably be under that mentality, especially in this year as well.
Yeah,
like I'm definitely under now where it's like, yeah, you've just got to say yes to everything, don't you?
Yeah, 2021's the year of just saying, yeah, let's just do it. If you have a bad time, who cares? It's better than
let's do it. Let's do it. Exactly.
It's better than anything we've done over the past year. So
exactly. So like me and Proxy were talking about this in like one of the other episodes. Like we were both saying like plans for like 2021, what we're gonna do, because we had like a lockdown episode, and we both were saying the exact same thing. It's like it's the year of going, do you want to do this? I fucking right, I'll come. Like Chuck, you were talking about fucking Lead Mill one of the days, the Art of Monkeys night. I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can like actually legit get there. And I was just like, you know what, fucking, I'm not fucking going.
I've said to so many people, like, I get some DMs sometimes being like, oh, I mean, like this was just before lockdown. I'm like, oh, I'm in Sheffield. We should link up, or like, oh, I can't wait. There's a gig in Sheff. I'm gonna come down, or Sheffield scene. What's it? And normally it's just like, I love Sheffield, I really do. But it's like anyone who loves their own city. It's like to you when you've seen everything, you've done everything.
Yeah.
But I always tell people that like, if they're gonna come down, just go to fucking Leadmill Cup. Just like
especially when it's an Octave Monkeys night, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't care if you fucking come down for this place or that place. I've come for this gig or event. It's like, listen, it's just round your night off. Start in a fire pit and end your night in Leadmill Cup, and you'll have a good time. That's the main.
Heard it here first, boys and girls. I love it. Hello, it's Jack and Chris from the future. As you can tell, we look slightly different right now. Basically, what we've decided to do for like the slightly longer episodes, like the one that you have just been watching, we're going to try and like split those ones down into like part 1 and part 2s, just so it's like a bit more accessible for you to like pop in and pop out when you just want to. So basically, we're just saying bye from part 1, and then hopefully when this uploads in a couple of weeks' time after that, the part 2 will go live, which is continuation from this episode.
Yeah, spot on. So cheers for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you. Ta-ra.